Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Catherine here. I am out on my evening walk in one of my favorite little places that's close to my house. And I don't know if you can see, but I'm sitting inside a gazebo. Well, you can see around me. And there is a babbling brook running behind me and some beautiful flowers behind me. So this is just a apartment complex near me that has a great cinder trail for walking, and I'm so grateful to be out here on this beautiful evening. So I posted something earlier this morning that has had me thinking all day because it brought up for me sort of this question that I have been flipping back and forth for many years now. Which is when is the appropriate time to allow my therapy practice to wind down so I can step more fully into my coaching practice and my speaking, and when the world gets back to a little more normal, doing retreats for women, which is something that I just absolutely adore. I love that, creating that sacred space, that sacred container, when women come together, where we can all do a deep dive into our healing and our visioning of the lives we want to create and our own transformation. So I have, over the years, had many different areas of interest, right? I've been interested in mother loss, having lost my own mom when I was fairly young, 42 years ago now. Actually, I also lost my father a few years after that, so the idea of sort of being an orphan before my children were born has always been an area of interest for me. But I have always had a passion for women and trauma. So whether that was in my early days of working as a sexual assault or rape crisis counselor, and then working in women's reproductive rights, where, obviously there's a lot of issues there around women and women's health, mental, emotional, and physical, or my years as a child protective service worker specializing in the area of child sexual abuse, and then moving into the therapy work after having been in the field as a social worker for 13 or 14 years, and in my therapy work seeing many clients, women mostly, who were living with the emotional, mental, psychological, energetic effects and impact of family dysfunction, child abuse, abandonment. You know the list, it goes on. And so that has always been a passion for me, right? Helping women find being a safe space for women to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Do whatever part of the healing process they were in at the time that our paths cross. The other area of particular interest for me is helping women discover their passion and their purpose, right? Really sort of looking at that space in their lives where they're ready to kind of stop living the expected life, the life that was maybe somebody else's idea of who they were, or their own thoughts of who they should be, right? Going through the typical, lifestyle of marriage and children and all of that. And I had my own major transformation at 52, as you may have heard in some of my other lives, where I left my very comfortable 30-year marriage and my house in the suburbs and my paid employment all at the same time, or right around the same time, and moved out on my own into a 200 square foot room, opened a healing center, and really sort of turned my life upside down and inside out, all while going through menopause. So I took a deep dive off the deep end, which I don't expect everyone to do, but it just sort of felt like the right time for me to really make major changes in my life. So anyway, I've been thinking today about my commitment to myself that I wrote on the Facebook page this morning to begin to allow my therapy practice to wind down by attrition and step more fully into, my coaching and my speaking, and hopefully retreats at some point. And as I was thinking about that today, I was inspired to step into that more fully with this group by bringing forward some kind of like mini training, like I don't want to necessarily call it a retreat, but an online sort of intensive program that would happen over 5 days, not all day for 5 days, but for some portion of each day, I would bring some teaching and some fun to the group and focus on one particular subject for 5 days in depth. And so I wanted to jump on this live to ask for your help, to get your opinion or your preference, perhaps, of whether you would be more interested into a deep dive around healing trauma or a deep dive around discovering your purpose. So that's the question that I have for you, because I could do either one, and they're connected in my mind. I believe you can't step fully into your purpose until you've done the healing work, but they are also separate and distinct pieces. And so in the middle of my walk here tonight, in my lovely little gazebo with my little running water, I'm sure you can hear it in the background, I just wanted to take a few minutes and put that question out to you. What would your preference be for a topic for me to do a deep dive in the group for 5 days, probably sometime in July? I want to give myself plenty of lead time to do the planning and get all the pieces together. I don't want it to sort of just be off the cuff. So if you would put your comments in the link below. I will also post a link with this same question, sort of like maybe a poll. So would your preference be a 5-day deep dive on healing trauma or dysfunctional childhood or early life issues? Or would it be on discovering and sort of getting more clarity around your divine or soul purpose? So that's my question. I hope you will all, as you're listening to this, whether you're listening live now or listening on a replay later on, just put your thoughts in the comment section below so I can sort of get a feel for the group in terms of which way to focus my little mini-series. All right, have a beautiful evening, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.